Welcome to another edition of Digital Conversation. And today, we're so excited to have with us as our special guest, Molly Grantham. Now, for you folks who are fans of LEX 18, she is an alum of our beloved workplace. And it's so good to see her, and we're just proud of her success. Molly, how are you?
Lee, I am so excited to see you. It's been a long time. 15 years ago, I left.
Yeah, and it's great to see you haven't changed. It's great to see your face.
You haven't changed either, and I mean that. I never got to see you that much, though, because you were always mornings,
right?
And I was nighttime.
Yeah. Well, it's good to talk to you. And again, the reason that we've brought Molly here is because she is an author now, besides her career in television, which is just spectacular. She has written a book called Off-Camera Life of an On-Camera Mom, Small Victories is what this is about. And it's an interesting origin. Because I think, as I recall, Molly, this was sort of birthed out of just Facebook posts. Is that right?
It was. I actually have a copy here.
It
was. Isn't that funny? I know, laugh at me, but I'm in TV. I understand the art of showing something. It was birthed out of Facebook posts. So I have two kids. They're 6 and 3. And I always wanted to be a mom, but I never really planned on changing my career for that. And I will say my career hasn't changed, but I have evolved. And so when I had my first daughter, I never talked about it. I was on air, big as a house, pregnant, like cameras in the hospital 11 hours after she's born. But after that, I never talked about it. And then when I had the second child, sort of life just threw me a curveball, and I couldn't ignore the fact that I had this real life along with my career life. And so I've merged them together, and I talk about both now publicly, and it's been such a gift and so freeing. I thought talking about motherhood would like make me less of a bulldog reporter or make me less of a journalist or something, right. Sort of soften me too much. But really, it's all awesome. So the first line of the book, I will say this, Lee, because this sort of sets the whole tone. I don't even need to read it. I can just tell you. The first line of the book is, I sometimes like working more than I like being a mom.
Yeah.
I wonder how many of you now think something horrible about me. I wonder how many of you understand. Love my kids, love them. They are my life. But I have other things besides my kids.
Well, I think everybody has to deal with judgmental people, but in the television business, it really is sort of the lifestyle. You're constantly judged. So here you go into motherhood, and you say something like that. I imagine there was some blowback. But tell me about the negativity that you got, like from a statement like that. But also tell me about some of the encouraging words that people who are reading the book and know you are telling you.
It's very relatable. So any parent, in fact, I have a lot of guys in here, a lot of comments. They're like, I'm a single guy with no kids, and I get sucked into this every single time you tell a story. But especially if you're a parent, you sort of relate because it's all real life. I just pull back the curtain and say the real stuff, you know? I started writing when he was 6 days old. I was on maternity leave. Daughter was 3.5. He was 6 days old. And that day I got a shower. And I remember writing down, small victory, I showered today. Because when that's your life with a 3.5-year-old and a 6-day-old, showering was a victory. And I ended up putting that on Facebook. I think like there's all this moving world outside and you're trapped in your house and you can't talk to anybody. So I kind of put it on Facebook thinking people would think I'm nuts. Yeah. And the response was huge because people got it. People get it. And yes, the first line is a little provocative. I sometimes like working more than I like being a mom, but people understand. And I think increasingly more and more women in particular have more going on than just their kids. And so it's very relatable.
Well, I think it's relatable, one, because I don't, for whatever reason, humans never really want to be honest about the place they're in. And when you do show that little bit of vulnerability, it actually brings people to you a lot of times. And so I guess that's kind of what you're experiencing.
I agree with that. A lot of people, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it's all like perfect pictures. Mother's Day, everyone is like well-lit photos with their kids dressed in matching outfits. Mine is like donut all over his face. I mean, just a mess. My life's a mess. It can be very messy. And so some of the pictures are, me in the hair salon with foil all over my head. And the kids are sitting there with me. And at the time, I think he was 5 weeks old, was like in my arms. And the 3.5-year-old riding her scooter through the salon. I mean, that's just real life.
Well, real life is, too, understanding that we love the kids. I mean, they're the most important thing in the world, but they can be little monsters. And I think it's okay as another human to go, you know, you're a piece of work today.
You are a piece of work today. Yes. I've continued to write these posts. So this goes from day 6, which was week 1, up to month 30. And so maternity leave, 12 weeks, there's weekly posts. And then it goes up month 4, month 5, month 6, month 7, up to month 30. But I've continued to write them. And so just 2 days ago was month 41, 42. And it was entitled Half Angel, Half Devil. Yeah. Because my 3-year-old is exactly what you just said. He's some days like, and other days I just couldn't cuddle him enough. I know. Yeah.
Well, I think, not that we're surprised, but one of the pleasant things that has happened with you sharing this with the world is that not only was the Facebook post popular, that it somehow morphed into a book. It's selling like hotcakes on Amazon. Did it not sell out this first print on Amazon or something crazy like that, Molly?
It was, it did. Amazon sold out immediately,
wow.
But you can get them now on Amazon. You can get it at any Barnes & Noble, or mollygrantham.com has all the shops they're in. But yeah, you can get it anywhere.
So what is it? Well, I mean, if you try to boil it down and you think about what's the connectivity? What am I touching other people with? What do you think it is?
You're such a good interviewer, Lee. I've thought about that. You really are. You asked the right. I've thought about that a lot. And yeah. I think it's that I'm not trying to make it perfect. Right. And especially in this business that you and I are in, where everything is like this perfection and this image, and it's, you know, all this stuff that we've got right now going on. This is not that, and it shows what everybody deals with and goes through, and just says, you know, small victory. I showered today. That was all I did all day. That's it, and I was proud of myself.
Well, the cover itself is amazing because you somehow are balancing yourself on a flat screen TV, Molly.
That was actually a cardboard box, the art of graphic design.
They did a good job with that. Now, back in the old days, when I grew up, you could sit on a TV. You can't do it anymore.
You're the only one that's ever pointed that out. That's so funny.
Yeah, I got a lot of issues. I'm a piece of work myself, Molly, as you well know.
I like it.
So they go to mollygrantham.com, correct?
mollygrantham.com, and that just has all the book stuff. But everything's still on Facebook too. WBTV's Molly Grantham, and you know, all of us are everywhere on social media: Twitter, Instagram. Facebook's where this really came out of, and I do put the links from Facebook on Twitter and Instagram. But Facebook is sort of the home base for it, and then mollygrantham.com.
And have you had, you mentioned something with guys, and I can see dads relating to this because sometimes we leave them behind because we always assume this is just a problem for mothers feeling guilty, but that's not true. I mean, dads have the same issue as well. But what about guys and gals that don't have children? Have they peeked at this? Have they seen the Facebook post? Have they commented? And what's that reaction?
That reaction is, wow, thank you for sharing your life. This really shows me some of the stuff that I hear my family say or friends say, but not in such graphic detail, and with such like a lens of easy reading, and it's easy to digest. The chapters are very short, and a lot of comments come in. So I have comments in the book from some of the Facebook posts, and it's first initial last name. So it'd be like Lee C says da 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 da, and so you can sort of relate to not just mine, but the community of comments. And many of those comments are single people, many are men, many are grandparents. Lots of grandparents love to sort of say, "Oh my God, this takes me back." But you can see not just my story, but really how it's all of our stories. And that's been really cool to see everybody's perspective. Not every comment's glowing. Like you said, some is a little bit of a blowback, a little bit of pushback. You should be at home with your kids all day long. That's fine. A lot of people did that and love that. That's not for me. And it felt really good to put that out there and say it.
Well, Molly, it's so good to see you, first of all, but it's also great to see you're doing so well, and congratulations on all the success. TV, you're now an author, a mother, wife. I mean, you've grown up, Molly. It's crazy what's happening.
Oh, thanks, Lee. I've grown up. We're both old. We're not babies anymore.
That is true.
But I am in Charlotte. I don't know if we mentioned that. I'm at WBTV in Charlotte, and I do love Charlotte. I moved from Lexington here, and LEX 18 was really, I mean this, it was such a family, and it was such a good launching pad. I didn't know if I'd ever leave Lexington, but I am really happy to be in Charlotte, and please say hi to everybody. Tell Nancy.
Will do, as she's convalescing. And we will, again, hopefully talk to you again. Molly, if you're up in Kentucky, make sure you stop in and say hi.
I would love to do that.
Molly Grantham. Again, it's mollygrantham.com, and the book is Off Camera, Life of an On-Camera Mom, Small Victories. You can pick that up. Go to Amazon. That'll do it for this edition of our Digital Conversation.